Hello, I'm Ralph. Welcome to Last Resort Repair and Recreation, episode 32. It's been a while. Our schedule has been out of whack. Unfortunately, it's going to be out of whack the next couple of weeks, too. So, I don't know when we're going to come back, but I will try my best to get as far as I can today on the affidavit of Andrew D. Basiago, who has been was involved in, as a child, secret government teleportation technology and time traveling technology. So I'm going to finish reading that. Try to finish it. It's pretty long, so I may not get to all of it today. But first of all, Charmella wants to read something that we wrote together as well. And also, Matthias wanted to talk about the Zika virus, and Maud had an interesting take on that too. So I don't know when we're gonna get to that, but maybe today. I don't know. Okay. Here's Charmella with what we wrote together. Hello, I'm Charmella, and this was written by me, Ralph, and Senye, my girlfriend. So we're going to use the power of spoken word today, and spoken word, try to speak it into existence. And we are on the positive timeline, not the artificial catastrophic timeline, and we will fight for what we know, and what we want, and what's best for the people, and what we want to see happen. This is called Our Choice is President Andy. On Earth's positive timeline, Andy is president. This is what is. I don't need any evidence. I refuse to acknowledge all the world's timeline's presidents. Fuck the White House. There's a new presidential residence. A place that we built all by ourselves in the kingdom of heaven called One Skyline Hotel, where everyone is welcome, especially the poor. No money is needed when walking through heaven's door, because we have a president who actually cares, instead of bitching all the time, talking shit and splitting hairs. This is Andy 2016, where reality is finally merging with dream. Forget the other options and the nightmarish screams. Andy is our choice. We have made our own team. Vote Andy 2016. Bring it out there. Get flyers and stuff. We try to post it when we can, and we make labels and we put them around. So hopefully more people will go to Andy2016.com and demand somebody that's truthful and honest and isn't going to be pulling shit like the rest of them, because I'm really sick and tired of all this garbage. I want the real person, somebody real to represent the people, that cares about the people and is going to tell the truth, and is not going to let the government tell lies and keep secrets that people have a right to know. We have a right to know what's going on, and we're going to fight for what's going on, and we want to know about this technology, this time travel technology and teleportation. They got this kind of shit, and they having us drive around in friggin' cars that pollute the earth. That's ridiculous. That's immoral and ridiculous, and it needs to stop. Everybody deserves to know about this technology, and it should be shared with everyone. And people think that, oh, we know we got all the good technology because it's dumbass, stupid cell phones. That's not technology. That's bullshit, and that's inorganic AI. And get off the phone. Don't be addicted to it. It's pretty terrible. I apologize if I offended anyone, but it needs to be called out for what it is. It's black goo, and it's trying to manipulate you and addict you, get you addicted to it. It's a disease, and I know it's definitely cannot be good for your head to have the phone to your head all the time, and people always looking and staring at their phones like they're zombified. It's ridiculous. We don't do that shit, and these phone companies, don't let them have power over you. You're stronger than that. Okay, now Ralph's going to continue reading the affidavit of Andrew D. Basiago. Thank you, Charmella. I'll read that one second. Let me just check this off so we can remember what we read. Okay. Okay, we were on passage 45. You can get a copy of this on exopolitics.com. That's where we got it from. So here we go, 45. The teleporter. In summer 1970, the children in my group first began traveling to the state capitol grounds in Santa Fe, New Mexico via the Tesla teleporter at the Curtiss Wright Aeronautical Company in Woodbridge, New Jersey, and returning to New Jersey via the teleport located at the Sandia National Laboratory in Sandia, New Mexico, adjacent to the Kirtland Air Force Base northeast of Albuquerque, New Mexico. The chronovisor. In fall 1970, the children in my group first began accessing past and future events via third and fourth dimensional Ernetti Gemelli chronovisors situated at the General Manufacturing Company in Convent Station, New Jersey, a public auditorium under construction in Morristown, New Jersey, and the IT Defense Communications Facility in Nutley, New Jersey. The plasma confinement chamber. In spring of 1972, my father took me to a time lab in East Hanover, New Jersey, where under the direction of Dr. Sterling Holgate, I entered a lucite chamber where plasma was emitted, and while immersed in the plasma, I wormholed to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on November 9, 1863, where I was depicted in the famous Josephine Cobb photograph of Abraham Lincoln at Gettysburg. The Stargate. In summer 1972, I took trips to 2045 to retrieve microfilmed summaries of intervening events being prepared by project historians in the future. The Stargate through which I jumped was located in the gymnasium of the Cerritos Cultural Center near Cerritos, New Mexico. We arrived back in the present on the grounds of the microwave tower at the Lobo Overlook site in southwest Colorado. The Jump Room. Before I left my period of service attached to Project Pegasus in 1972, I witnessed a device about the size of a microwave oven through which things like documents from Washington, D.C. were arriving in New Mexico. I believe that it was this time travel technology in which the jump rooms were developed via which by the late 1970s the U.S. government was sending personnel to Mars. During the 3 years that I was officially attached to Project Pegasus from 1969 to 1972, I spent 3 secret summers in New Mexico living with my father and taking part in time travel activities undertaken at both atomic research institutions like the Los Alamos National Airport, LANL, and the Sandia National Laboratory, and smaller labs operated by DARPA in the desolate environs of New Mexico. These secret summers were effectuated by my father and I, teleporting to New Mexico, spending the summer there, and then at the end of the summer teleporting back to New Jersey as to arrive on the afternoon of the morning that we had left at the beginning of the summer. In this way, the time loop created by our quantum displacement in New Mexico was closed, and time travel was used to conceal time travel research via the propagation of a time loop and its subsequent disappearance. These secret or hidden summers were the first summer of 1971, summer 1973, access from fall 1971, and the summer of 1972. I say summer 1971 and 72 because after those summers, my father and I lived second summers with a different set of experiences upon returning to New Jersey. That's interesting how time travel was used to conceal the time travel research. People have the right to know this. Okay. Consequently, as both a child progressing farther and farther down the rabbit hole of applied quantum physics, and as my father's son, during those 3 summers and for short periods during the school year when I was in New Mexico after having teleported there, I was frequently present at project social events, including project meetings held at the labs, meals taken at restaurants, hotels, drinks at bars, parties enjoyed at private residences, and receptions held at hotels. In that context, I met many distinguished Americans who were either project principals or who were interested in the project's activities, or who were being brought through the Project Social Network so that they could be briefed about their roles in future events as individuals who had been identified as persons of interest related to their personal destinies as national leaders of the United States. The project principals that I met included Dr. Harold M. Agnew, who served as Federal Administrator of Project Pegasus during his tenure as Director of LENL, 1970 to 78. Dr. Edward Teller, who once met while he was trying to fix a chronovisor at LENL. Dr. Stephen J. Lukasik, when he was serving as the Director of DARPA. Dr. Ivan Browning, when he was serving as the Director of the Directorate of Science and Technology at the CIA, 1959 to 74. John A. McCone, former Director of the CIA, 1960 to 64. Dr. Sterling Colgate, when he was President of the New Mexico Institute of Science and Technology, and MIST. Dr. Emilio Segre, who had a discussion with my father in the hallway at Landmore about the existence of teleportation, and Donald H. Rumsfeld, the future Secretary of Defense, who served as a defense attaché of Project Pegasus. In retrospect, when I consider that three of these individuals, Agnew, Teller, and Segre, were Manhattan Project physicians, and that three, Agnes, Lukasik, and McComb, served as Director of Major Defense and Intelligence Agencies, LENL, DARPA, and CIA, I am struck by how important Project Pegasus was and how privileged my father and I were to be part of it, and both witness and participate in the U.S. time-space exploration program at the time of the emergence of time travel in the U.S. defense technical community in the early 1970s. I also met several future national leaders of the United States at luncheons that were held in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with project principals shortly after they were apprised of the fact that using this quantum access technology, DARPA had determined that they were destined to serve as President or Vice President of the United States. These individuals included President George H.W. Bush, Vice President Richard B. Cheney, President George W. Bush, and President William J. Clinton. These luncheons were held at La Hacheta restaurant in Old Town Albuquerque, where my father's lifelong friend, Mary Constance Chavez, 1928 to 81, was the cashier. In this unusual and unprecedented social milieu in which American defense officials operating in the present were sharing intelligence data from the future with both future national leaders